So you're thinking about moving to Fort Washington, Maryland, and you're interested in like what that new construction looks like. Well, you are in the right place because today I'm going to show you a new construction community tucked away in Fort Washington that is starting in the 600 range. So let's go check it out. If you're new here, my name is Brittany Stinney. I am a realtor proudly serving the DMV area, and today I'm so excited to talk to you about this community located in Fort Washington, Maryland. Now, if you're new to the area or just don't know much about Fort Washington is a pretty cool area because you are in close proximity to DC, and you're actually not that far from like Alexandria, Virginia. So depending on where you're commuting to, Fort Washington might work well for you. Plus, compared to DC and Virginia, you're gonna get way more bang for your buck out here. So for example, this property that I'm gonna show you today is priced starting in the 600 or mid 600, excuse me. And they're large houses, like over 3,000 square feet. They do have several floor plans available, and they have one model available. So unfortunately, I can't talk you through all the floor plans, but I just wanted to give you a taste of what this community looks like if you're looking in this price range. Now, if you do want to know more about other parts of Fort Washington or either DC or other parts of Maryland or even Virginia, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on because we're going to get into all that, right? But today we're going to take a look at this property. So let's get into it. All right, so here we are in the neighborhood. I'm getting ready to go in. It is chilly outside, y'all. It's December right now, so we ain't gonna be out here long, but I did want to show you just so you can see behind me the properties, and you see that they all have some different layouts in terms of even the front part. So those are upgrades that you can do. But let's go ahead and check out the inside. One, because it's warmer, and two, because that's why you're here. All right, so here we are on the main level of this beautiful home, and don't worry, I'm gonna give you a tour of the whole shebang. But it's a beautiful home, and they do have, I think they said 5 different floor plans that you can choose from in terms of what works well for you. And the cool thing about this neighborhood too, in this particular builder, is that they now offer where you can do as an add-on a screened porch. I believe you can still just do a deck, but they have a screened porch, which is a really nice feature because a lot of builders don't add or offer that as an add-on. Now with this community, you do get a finished basement. You will have to, if you would like, you can do an upgrade to do a bathroom in the basement. So there are a lot of options to make this your own, and there's a lot of different options that we're not necessarily going to cover. Of course, know that in the model home, they give you the best of the best, right? So you can see what it has potential to become and kind of see how you could call it and make it your own home. All right, so here we are on the top floor. I wanted to kind of stop. I know this is like a weird place to stop, but you might be able to see over my shoulder. See a little square on a post in the back? That is a sign that says that there's a tree conservation. So the reason I'm pointing that out is because that means these trees that are located behind this property are protected. Now, not all the lots in this neighborhood have that feature. It just depends on what lot you choose. And some lots, whether this neighborhood or another new construction community, some lots are considered premium, meaning you're going to pay more for that particular lot. So it really just depends on what works well for you and your family. But I just wanted to point that out. If you like privacy, like you like to be near things, but you don't necessarily like to be in everything, this neighborhood might be a great fit for you because, again, Fort Washington is really close to National Harbor, Tanger outlets, not too far again to commute to DC. If you want to go out in terms of like nightlife, you have Topgolf is not far from here. Not a club like that kind of nightlife, but you know, just like hanging out with your friends, doing something like that. That's technically in Oxon Hill, Maryland, but Oxon Hill, Maryland, where National Harbor is maybe 10 minutes from here. So you're also positioned nicely as you're very close to Indian Head Highway, or otherwise known as 210 because they do need to change that name, but that's very close to this area too. So there are a lot of features of living here in Fort Washington, but I'm going to stop talking now. I just wanted to point out the fact about the trees and the lots and the different features and the great features of this particular community. All right, now I wanted just to hop out. I know I'm losing daylight a little bit, but I did want to show you just the vastness of this neighborhood. And this is probably like my favorite feature of this neighborhood because it is literally surrounded by trees. So you see like this side, you don't have as many trees, but if you swing over to this side, you see they all back to this wooded area. So that's a really nice feature, especially if you want to come home to somewhere that's and serene, you're gonna find it here in this community. The fact that most of these lots are back to trees just gives you a sense of privacy that you don't always get in larger communities or in the city, right? Like here in this, we're really in the suburbs of Fort Washington, so it does give you a really nice feel. Now, these lots too are all about a quarter of an acre, so you have space. It's cool because you can see your neighbors, but you're not on top of your neighbors, which I think is like a key detail. Depending on what you like. Some people like to have closer proximity, but I always like a little bit of space. I love to see my neighbors, but be like, hey, from across the yard. You know what I mean? So this neighborhood offers that, and it's just a beautiful place to call home. All right, now I'm going to show you a feature that some people might find a little weird, but I personally love mailboxes. You see that behind me? These mailboxes are all centrally in one location. I personally love that because you don't have necessarily individualized mailbox right in front of your house. So everything's one central location, locked. It makes it easy for the USPS, or whoever's dropping off. And you can also drop off your outgoing mail right here. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because, again, you don't have one on your lot that you have to maintain. And while some people might not like that, I like it because but then also, if you're like having a long day from work or whatever, you need to get the mail, just take a little stroll. And it's really not far from the houses here, but it's one central location. And I love where they have theirs located too, because it's actually close to the entranceway. So if, let's say, you don't want to do a walk, you just stop by here on your way home, pick up your mail with your key, you're good, or drop off your mail, whatever you need to do. Now, if you do need the actual post office, that's actually not too far from here. So you have all those things close by. So there you have it. That's a tour and a quick introduction to this beautiful community here in Fort Washington, Maryland. Again, these properties are starting in the high sixes, mid to high sixes, crossing over into the 700s depending on the floor plan that you choose. They still have available lots. However, it's not a large community. So I believe they said it's about 61 homes total. Now, if you want to know more and this just isn't quite it for you, again, make sure you have your notifications on, y'all, because we're going to get into all the juicy details of living life here in the DMV, because that's what we're here for, right? To show you what making home feels like here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Now, for this property, just so you know, I am sitting in the basement right now. I've kind of made myself nice and comfortable here, but it's a really cool and a great space basement. And just a friendly reminder too, with this neighborhood in particular, the basement is finished, meaning you don't have to pay an additional price to have the basement finished. However, if you want to add on the bathroom, and in this case, in the model that we just saw, it's a full bathroom. So you can add that on as an additional upgrade and really just make it your own space so that you have a beautiful backyard. You have the options to add that green deck or porch, and you can add, depending on how many cars you have, there are some options on the lots as well to have a 2 to 3 car garage, and I believe even some lots where you can have side facing garages if you don't like that front facing property where you see the garage as soon as you drive up. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully you liked it. Drop it in the comments. What do you like about this property? Could you see this being your home? And if you can see it being your home, go ahead and hit that contact button, y'all, so we can get you in here before you miss out. Other than that, see you next time. Fort Washington. Let's try that again. Take 2. In terms of nope. Come on, girl. Try again. Brittany. Construction community. That price.